The ultrasound was sitting right in the middle of the coffee table, as if someone had placed it there for Ethan Miller to find. Not hidden. Not folded inside a purse. Not mixed with school papers or grocery receipts. Just lying there in the quiet afternoon light, waiting to destroy the life he thought he understood. Ethan was 34, a project supervisor for a renewable energy company outside Phoenix, Arizona. He spent his days driving between solar farms, checking crews, dealing with inspectors, and trying to keep big projects from falling apart. At home, he was a husband, a father, and the dependable son everyone called when something broke. He and his wife Lauren had 2 children. Harper 6, smart and stubborn, and Mason 4, always running through the house with toy trucks in his hands. For years, Ethan believed he had built a good American life. A house in a quiet neighborhood, Sunday dinners, school drop-offs, backyard cookouts, a mortgage that hurt every month but still felt worth it. Lauren worked as a middle school guidance counselor, and Ethan had always admired her patience, her kindness, and the way she could make troubled kids feel safe. Then there was Ryan, Ethan's younger brother. Ryan was everything Ethan was not. Charming, reckless, creative, and impossible for people to ignore. He owned a small custom motorcycle detailing shop and had a loyal following online. Their mother always called him gifted. Ethan was simply responsible. Still, Ethan loved him. He had helped Ryan with rent, co-signed a business loan, and defended him whenever the family said he needed to grow up. Ryan was also close to Lauren. Too close, Ethan realized now. Over the past few months, Lauren had started working late more often. Parent meetings, student emergencies, district workshops. Her explanations sounded reasonable, but something felt wrong. She kept her phone face down at dinner. She took it into the bathroom. She got irritated whenever Ethan asked who was texting. Ryan also started appearing at the house when Ethan was away. Lauren said he fixed the sprinkler, dropped off coffee, helped with groceries, or came by because he was in the area. Ethan noticed, but he pushed the thought away. Suspicion felt ugly. He did not want to become the kind of husband who searched for betrayal in every ordinary moment. Then, one Wednesday afternoon, Ethan came home early. A failed inspection had shut down his job site for the day. Lauren's SUV was gone, the kids were still at daycare, and the house was silent. Ethan thought he might shower, make coffee, and enjoy one quiet hour before dinner. Instead, he found the ultrasound. He picked it up slowly. The date printed at the top was from 8 days earlier. His stomach tightened. He and Lauren had agreed they were done having children. 2 kids were enough. Money was already tight. Another baby was not impossible, but Lauren would never hide something like that from him. Then he turned the photo over. 3 words were written on the back in black marker. "Can't wait, brother." Ethan knew that handwriting. The sharp letters, the careless slant, Ryan's handwriting, his brother's handwriting. For several seconds, Ethan could not breathe. He sat down on the couch with the ultrasound in his hand, staring at those words until they blurred. Not congratulations. Not happy for you. Can't wait, brother. Like Ryan already knew. Like Ryan was part of it. Like this baby belonged to a secret Ethan had never been invited into. His phone buzzed. It was Lauren. She said she had to work late again. There was leftover pasta in the fridge. Could Ethan handle the kids? Ethan looked at the message, then at the ultrasound, and something inside him went cold. He wanted to call her. He wanted to scream. He wanted to drive straight to Ryan's shop and break everything in sight. But he did not. Instead, he took pictures of the ultrasound front and back. Then he recorded a short video showing exactly where he had found it. His hands shook at first, but then they steadied. Evidence first, anger later. He searched Lauren's SUV using the spare key in the garage. Under the passenger seat, hidden behind an old grocery bag, he found prenatal vitamins. Back inside, he opened their credit card statements, hotel charges, dinner bills. Weeknights, when Lauren had claimed she was at school meetings. Then he found a second phone in her gym bag. No password, 8 months of messages. 8 months of secrets. 8 months of Lauren and Ryan meeting behind his back while Ethan worked overtime, paid bills, raised children, and trusted them both. By the time he finished reading, the living room was dark. Ethan put everything back exactly where he found it. The vitamins under the seat, the phone in the gym bag, the ultrasound on the table. Then he picked up Harper and Mason from daycare. He made dinner, helped Harper with reading homework, gave Mason a bath, read bedtime stories, kissed both children on the forehead like their world had not just cracked open. When Lauren came home after 9, Ethan did not yell. Not yet, because they had expected him to break. Instead, he was going to let them walk straight into the truth. After Lauren went upstairs that night, Ethan stayed at the kitchen table pretending to work. His laptop was open, but he was not reading anything. All he could hear was the shower running her footsteps above him, and his own heart beating too hard in his chest. When the house finally went quiet, Ethan walked into the laundry room and pulled the hidden phone from Lauren's gym bag again. Ryan's messages were still there. 8 months of them. Jokes, plans, hotel addresses, photos. Complaints about Ethan being too busy, too predictable, too blind. Ethan wanted to smash the phone against the wall. Instead, he kept reading. One message stayed in his mind. We need to start the end game. So this had not been an accident. They were not simply caught in some messy mistake. They had planned how to tell him how to hurt him, maybe even how to take control of the story before he understood what was happening. Ethan's anger became colder. They wanted him emotional. They wanted him broken. They wanted him confused enough to make a mistake. He would not give them that. Using Lauren's hidden phone, Ethan typed a message to Ryan. Come over tomorrow night at 8. Ethan has a late meeting. We need to talk about telling him. He stared at the screen for a few seconds. Then he sent it. Ryan replied almost immediately. Finally, I'll be there. Ethan deleted the sent message, put the phone back exactly where he found it, and stood in the dark laundry room. He did not feel proud. He did not feel powerful. He felt like a man standing inside the ruins of a house that still looked perfect from the outside. The next morning, Ethan called in sick. It was the first sick day he had taken in years. Lauren barely looked at him while packing the kids' lunches. She asked if he needed her to stay home, but her voice had no real worry in it. No, Ethan said. I just need rest. She kissed his forehead and left with Harper and Mason. The moment her SUV disappeared, Ethan moved fast. He gathered birth certificates, passports, insurance papers, tax files, house documents, car titles, and the children's medical records. He put them into a locked box and carried it to his truck. Then he changed every password he could think of. Bank accounts, email cloud, storage phone plan, utilities, even streaming services. He moved exactly half of their joint savings into his personal account. Not more. Not less. Half. Then he set up his phone behind a framed family photo on the living room bookshelf. The camera had a clear view of the kitchen and front entry. He tested it twice, then started recording. By afternoon, he found more evidence on their shared computer. A folder with a harmless name. Inside were photos of Lauren and Ryan together. Some were in hotel rooms. One looked like Ethan's bedroom. He saved everything. At 7:30 that evening, Ethan texted Lauren. Emergency meeting at the Riverside site? I'll be late, she replied with a heart emoji. Ethan stared at it for a long moment. That tiny red heart felt like one final insult. He parked his truck 2 blocks away and walked back home through the side gate. The neighborhood was calm. Porch lights glowed. A dog barked somewhere down the street. Everything looked normal. At 8:03, Ryan's black pickup pulled into the driveway. Ryan got out wearing a leather jacket holding a bottle of wine and flowers. He walked to Ethan's front door like he had every right to be there. Lauren opened the door. Ethan waited 5 minutes. 5 minutes for them to relax. 5 minutes for the truth to become undeniable. Then he walked in. Lauren and Ryan were in the kitchen. Ryan's hand was on her stomach. The wine was already open. Lauren was smiling. Then she saw Ethan. The smile died instantly. Ryan stepped back. "Ethan, listen. We were going to tell you." Ethan looked at him, calm, silent. Then he crossed the kitchen and punched Ryan hard across the face. Ryan hit the tile floor. Lauren screamed. The wine spilled across the counter in a dark red stream. Ethan stood over his brother, breathing hard. "You came into my house," he said. "You smiled at my kids. You touched my wife. And you thought I would never find out." Ryan groaned, holding his face. Lauren was crying now. "Ethan, please. We can explain." Ethan pulled the hidden phone from his pocket and placed it on the counter. Lauren went silent. That silence was the confession. "You have 1 hour," Ethan said. "Pack what you can carry. You can't throw me out." "What about the kids? My lawyer will handle that." Ryan tried to stand. Ethan pointed to the door. "Get out before I forget this is being recorded." Ryan looked at Lauren, but she did not save him. So he left. The flowers stayed on the counter. Lauren stood in the kitchen, crying beside the spilled wine. And Ethan finally understood something painful. They had not just betrayed him. They had believed he was too weak to fight back. Lauren packed like someone moving through a nightmare. Ethan heard drawers opening upstairs, hangers scraping suitcases, hitting the floor. Every few minutes, she came down and tried again. She said they needed to talk. She said the children needed their mother. She said Ethan was acting out of anger and would regret it later. Ethan did not argue. He only pointed to the clock. 1 hour. At first, Lauren cried softly. Then she became angry. She said the house was hers too. She said Ethan had no right to throw her out. She said Ryan had made her feel seen when Ethan was always working. That was the moment Ethan finally looked at her with something colder than rage. "I worked," he said, "because this family needed food, health insurance, school tuition, and a roof. Don't you dare turn my responsibility into your excuse." Lauren had no answer. 58 minutes later, she dragged 2 suitcases down the stairs. Her face was pale, her eyes swollen, and her wedding ring was still on her finger like an insult. Ethan opened the front door and stood aside. She looked past him toward the hallway where Harper and Mason were sleeping. "Please," she whispered. "At least let me say goodbye." "No," Ethan said. "Not tonight. Not while you're falling apart. You're cruel." "No. I'm finally careful." Lauren stepped outside. Ethan closed the door behind her and locked it. For a few seconds, he leaned his forehead against the wood and breathed through the pain. Then he heard her car start. She sat in the driveway for nearly 10 minutes before leaving. At 10 sharp, the locksmith arrived. Ethan changed every lock in the house, including the garage and side door. After that, he gathered Lauren's remaining clothes, shoes, makeup books, framed photos, and boxes of things she had collected over 7 years of marriage. He put them into black trash bags and lined them near the front porch. By midnight, the house looked emptier. By 1 in the morning, his phone began to explode. His mother called first, then his aunt, then Ryan, then numbers Ethan did not recognize. Text messages filled the screen. "What did you do to your brother? Lauren is crying. Ryan says you attacked him. You need to calm down. This is family." Ethan stared at the messages, and something inside him snapped into focus. They were already building their version. Ryan was the injured brother. Lauren was the frightened wife. Ethan was the violent husband who lost control. So he opened the family group chat. There were more than 100 people in it. Cousins, aunts, uncles, in-laws, old family friends, people who showed up for birthdays, barbecues, baby showers, and Christmas dinners. Ethan did not write a long speech. He sent the ultrasound photo first, front and back. Then he sent screenshots from the hidden phone. Then hotel charges, dinner receipts, and photos with dates clearly visible. Nothing too graphic, just enough truth to make denial impossible. Finally, he typed one sentence. "Since everyone is hearing their version, here is mine." Then he pressed send. For 10 seconds, nothing happened. Then the chat exploded. People left. People cursed. People demanded answers. Ethan's cousin Marcus sent one private message, "I'm sorry, man. I had no idea." His aunt Rebecca wrote in the group chat, "Lauren, tell me this is fake." Ryan said nothing. Ethan's mother called again. He declined. She called again. He blocked her. Then Ethan opened Ryan's business page. Ryan had once given him the login to help post a holiday promotion. Ethan still had the password. He uploaded selected proof there too, tagging Ryan's shop partners and the business location. The caption was short, "Ask Ryan what loyalty means." Within minutes, comments started appearing. Customers recognized Lauren. Friends tagged other friends. Someone screenshotted the post before Ryan could delete it. By the time the page disappeared, it was already too late. The next morning, Ethan called a divorce attorney. The receptionist asked if it was urgent. "My wife is pregnant by my brother," Ethan said. "I have proof." There was a long pause. Then she said, "Come in at 9. By noon, Ethan had filed for divorce and emergency temporary custody. His lawyer told him to stay calm, stay documented, and not answer emotional calls. Ethan followed every instruction. He sent copies of everything: the messages, receipts, photos, video recordings, and the footage from the living room camera. By afternoon, Ryan's business partners announced that he was no longer welcome at the shop. Lauren's school placed her on administrative leave after parents started sending screenshots to the district office. Ethan did not celebrate. Watching their lives burn did not make his feel whole again. That evening, he picked up Harper and Mason like usual. Harper asked where Mommy was. Ethan gripped the steering wheel and kept his voice gentle. "She's staying somewhere else for a little while." "Is Uncle Ryan coming Sunday?" Ethan swallowed hard. "No, sweetheart. Not anymore." At home, he made dinner, helped with homework, and read bedtime stories. He did everything a father was supposed to do while the adult world collapsed around him. Then, just before 10, headlights swept across the front windows. 3 cars pulled into his driveway. His mother's Lincoln, Ryan's black pickup, Lauren's SUV. Ethan looked through the curtain and saw them walking toward his door together. His mother was crying. Ryan's face was bruised. Lauren looked broken. The doorbell rang. Ethan picked up his phone, started recording, and opened the door. His mother spoke first. "Stop destroying this family." Ethan looked at all 3 of them and smiled without warmth. "No," he said. "I'm just done protecting the people who destroyed mine." Ethan kept his phone raised as his mother, Ryan, and Lauren stood on the porch. The porch light made Ryan's bruised face look worse. One eye was swollen, his nose was taped, and the confidence he usually carried was gone. Lauren stood behind him with her arms wrapped around herself, looking smaller than Ethan had ever seen her. His mother pushed past him first. "We are going to talk like adults," she said. Ethan almost laughed. "Adults?" he asked. "Which adult? The one who slept with my wife or the one who slept with my brother?" His mother flinched, but only for a second. Then she turned on him with tears in her eyes. "You have gone too far. Ryan lost his shop. Lauren may lose her job. The whole family is talking. You humiliated everyone." Ethan closed the door behind them. "No," he said. "They humiliated themselves. I just stopped lying for them." Ryan looked at the floor. Lauren stayed near the door as if she was ready to run. Ethan's mother stepped closer, using the same voice she had used when he was a child. "You need to calm down. People make mistakes." Ethan walked to the coffee table and picked up a stack of printed screenshots. He dropped them in front of her. A mistake is forgetting an anniversary. A mistake is burning dinner. This was 8 months of hotel rooms, secret phones, and planning how to leave me. His mother looked down at the papers. Her face slowly changed as she read. The anger faded first. Then came shock. Then shame. She saw the messages, the dates, the jokes, the line about starting the end game. Still, she whispered. He is your brother. Ethan stared at her. So am I. The room went silent. Ryan finally spoke. His voice was weak and thick from his injured nose. I'm sorry, Ethan. Ethan turned toward him. You're sorry because your life got exposed. You were not sorry when you walked into my house with flowers and wine. Ryan's jaw tightened. For 1 second, the old arrogance returned. You didn't have to ruin everything. Ethan stepped toward him. You ruined it when you touched my family. Ryan stepped back. Lauren started crying again. Please, Ethan, think about Harper and Mason. I am Ethan said. That is why I filed for emergency custody. Lauren's face collapsed. You can't take my children from me. You brought Ryan around them while lying to their faces. Harper already knew he was coming over when I wasn't home. You made my kids part of your secret. Lauren covered her mouth and shook her head, but she did not deny it. Ethan handed his mother another document. What is this? She asked. A trust for Harper and Mason. Their money is protected now. Their future is protected. His mother read quickly, then looked up. What about the baby? Ethan's eyes moved to Lauren's stomach, then to Ryan. There is a clause for that too. If that child needs support from anything connected to my household, both biological parents will have to complete counseling, hold stable jobs, and prove they can act like responsible adults. Ryan's face darkened. You can't control us like that. I can control what happens to my money. Lauren stepped forward. Ethan, please. I need to talk to you alone. No, please. 5 minutes. Not for me. For the baby. Ethan hated that those words still had power. He looked at his mother and Ryan. Stay here. He walked outside with Lauren and shut the door behind them. The night air was cool. Across the street, someone's porch flag moved softly in the breeze. For a moment, neither of them spoke. Then Lauren whispered, The baby may not be Ryan's. Ethan went still. She wiped her face with shaking hands. I told him it was his because I was angry, because I thought it would make leaving easier. But the dates, Ethan, the dates could mean it's yours. Ethan stared at her, trying to decide if there was any part of the woman in front of him he still recognized. You expect me to believe that, now I'm telling you the truth. You don't get to use that word anymore. Lauren reached for his arm, but he stepped back. Get a paternity test, she said. Please. If there is even a chance, if that baby is mine, Ethan said slowly, then I will be a father through lawyers. If that baby is Ryan's, then both of you can deal with the life you created. Lauren broke down. I made a terrible mistake. No, Ethan said. You made a plan. Then you made another lie when the first one failed. He went back inside. His mother looked hopeful, as if Lauren's words had changed everything. Ethan picked up the printed documents from the table. Get out. His mother started crying again. Ethan, she said, the baby could be yours. I heard her. Then you can't just throw her away. Ethan opened the front door. I'm not throwing anyone away. I'm refusing to be used. Ryan walked out first. His eyes stayed on the ground. Lauren followed, still crying. His mother paused at the doorway. One day you will regret breaking this family. Ethan looked at her for a long moment. No, I regret trusting the wrong people. He closed the door and locked it. Then he went upstairs to check on Harper and Mason. They were still asleep, innocent and safe. Ethan stood in the hallway listening to their quiet breathing. For the first time that night, fear entered his heart. Not fear of Ryan, not fear of Lauren, fear that the baby might truly be his. The paternity test results came 3 weeks later. Ethan opened the envelope in his attorney's office, not at home. He did not want Harper or Mason anywhere near that moment. His lawyer sat across from him quietly, hands folded, giving him space to breathe before reading the line that mattered. Ryan was the father. The probability was almost absolute. Ethan stared at the paper for a long time. He expected relief. Instead, he felt something heavier, Lauren had lied again. Even on the porch, crying in the dark, begging him to believe there was still a piece of their old life left, she had been reaching for another hook to keep him close. His lawyer asked if he was okay. Ethan folded the paper once, then again. "I am now." He sent copies to Lauren's attorney Ryan and his mother. No long message, no insult, no speech. Just the result. The truth did enough damage on its own. The divorce moved faster than Ethan expected. His evidence was organized, dated, backed up, and impossible to explain away. Lauren's job situation made things worse for her. The school district ended her employment after the investigation. Parents had complained. Screenshots had spread. A guidance counselor caught in a public scandal with her brother-in-law was not something the district wanted attached to its name. Ethan received primary custody of Harper and Mason. Lauren was given supervised weekends at first. She cried in court, but the judge cared more about stability than tears. Ethan did not smile when the ruling came down. He only looked at his children's names on the paperwork and promised himself he would make their home feel safe again. Ryan lost nearly everything. His business partners bought him out for far less than the shop was worth. Customers canceled appointments. Friends stopped inviting him to barbecues. His online followers, the people who once praised his style and confidence, turned him into a warning story. Eventually, he left Arizona and moved to Nevada, working in a small repair garage outside Las Vegas. Ethan heard this from a cousin. He never asked for updates. Lauren moved into a small apartment across town. She gave birth to Ryan's son in the winter. For a while, people said she and Ryan were still together. Then people said they were fighting. Then people said Ryan was rarely around. Ethan did not care enough to confirm any of it. His mother tried to reach him for months. At first she called, then she texted. Then she mailed a long letter full of apologies, excuses, and memories from when Ethan and Ryan were boys. She wrote that no mother should have to choose between her sons. Ethan read that line twice. Then he put the letter back in the envelope. Because she had chosen Ryan long before this happened. She had chosen him every time she excused his selfishness. Every time she praised his recklessness as passion. Every time she called Ethan dependable, while treating his pain like something convenient and quiet. Ethan did not write back. Life did not heal all at once. Some mornings he still woke up expecting Lauren to be in the kitchen. Some nights Harper asked why Mommy could not live with them anymore. Mason asked if Uncle Ryan was still family. Those questions hurt worse than court hearings, legal bills, or lonely dinners. Ethan answered gently every time. Some people make choices that change things. Harper asked once, "Was it our fault?" Ethan pulled both children close and said the words slowly, so they would never forget them. Never. Not even a little. Over time, the house changed. Lauren's things disappeared. New routines replaced old ones. Pancakes on Saturday mornings. Library trips after school. Backyard movie nights with popcorn in paper bowls. Ethan learned how to braid Harper's hair badly, then better. He learned which dinosaur Mason needed in bed before he could sleep. He learned that peace was not loud. Sometimes it was just a quiet kitchen, clean dishes, and 2 children laughing in the next room. A year later, Ethan was promoted to Regional Operations Manager. The raise helped. The new schedule helped more. He stopped working every late night he could. He showed up for school plays, soccer games, science fairs, and parent lunches with store-bought cookies he pretended were homemade. At Harper's science fair, she won 2nd place for a solar-powered nightlight. Ethan clapped louder than anyone. While taking pictures, he saw Lauren across the gym. She looked tired, holding a baby on one hip while searching the crowd. Ryan was not with her. For 1 second, Lauren and Ethan made eye contact. Her face changed. Regret, shame, maybe even grief. She took one small step toward him. Then Mason tugged Ethan's sleeve, excited to show him a volcano project. Ethan looked down at his son, smiled, and let Lauren disappear from his attention. When he glanced back, she had stopped walking. She stood there with the baby, watching the life she had traded away. Ethan gave her one small nod. Not forgiveness. Not an invitation. Just proof that he had survived. Then he turned back to his children. Some things once broken should not be rebuilt. Some doors once closed should stay closed. And some people only understand the value of a family after they have already destroyed it. But that was not Ethan's burden anymore. His life was in front of him now, and this time he did not look back.